It's been getting pretty cold at night. The first night I was warm, the second night I was freezing, and then last night I was pretty warm, but it's been pretty good. It's been like a nice temperature to walk in during the day.
Lesson learned from the trek would be Dutch ovens make really good food, but they're not so great to stand near. Oh.
On the trail, there are two kinds of people, the quick and the dead. I'm wondering which you are right now. Move along. This will be brief, very brief. Quickly gather your belongings, put them in your wagons. You have 5 minutes to be at the top of that hill. Move!
I'm 5.5. Oh, I can't.
The business to be laid before you today is the call of the War Department to raise 500 volunteers for the Army of the West to march to California.
Well, the men were called off to war, and several protested, but in the end everybody voted to go because of the blessings that were promised to us as a company.
I'm singing "God Be With You Till We Meet Again" as they walked out was hard, but it was the right thing for them to do.
So all of the boys and 18 and over and the men have gone, so we have been without priesthood, and the women have set up camp, and we are trying to keep the children entertained. We're sewing dolls, we're weaving. We are writing letters to family members and friends to let them know what's going on. We're just keeping up on our skills and keeping the children entertained until it's time for us to begin the trek again and be given further instruction.
It was difficult to say bye to the men, my husband being one of them, to know that they were called away for at least a year, and they left faithfully, not knowing if they would make it back, or if they did, whether their wives and kids would be there or not.
Well, as we started, Brigham Young came out and he wanted to recruit some members for the war. So basically we left the girls with the handcarts, and basically what we did was reenact what they would do in a war, and at the end we all had a short combat lesson. Just basically they taught us like what they would do in war to easily like keep firing and help destroy the enemy.
And then we headed out, all the women pulling their own carts and their families, and we went down some pretty steep hills.
Well, I think when we left we were full on like, let's just get this done, and then the boys left, and it was up to us, the girls, to pull through, and there was a lot better communication within us, and I think we really grew strong when we were going up that hill.
Well, after the war we looked down and we see the girls pulling the headcarts up a big hill. And so basically we started singing, and the girls heard us and saw us, so they started singing, and it kind of encouraged us, and so we wanted to get the girls and help. And so basically there's two trails. We could have took the long way, which is a little easier, it's just a walk, or there's another way where it's straight down. It's called Bear Trail, and you basically went under a bunch of trees and like went down the steep hill.
At that point we could see the men across the valley, and to know that they were coming back was huge.
Then you met up back with the girls straight ahead, and we went there and encouraged them to keep pushing the carts uphill.
And they came back and didn't help us get up the hill, because we did that on our own, but they started slowly helping us to get back down the hill.
When we did the women's pool, that was one of the hardest things. I was so nervous for it, and so our family said a prayer, and it was a great idea because I could feel it helping me as I was pulling, it was fun to like help everybody out, and you had to be strong for it.
It was really impressive to see all the women helping each other. I don't think a single cart went up with just their own family, and women went up the hill and back 3-4 times just to help everybody get up. It was hard, one of the steepest hills we've been on, and we didn't have any of the strength of men to help us, but the women banded together and really did a good job.
The last stretch was really, really hard, but it was really rewarding. My cart just kept on saying, mind over body, and it's a great feeling when you get here.
And everybody was pulling so hard, they were leaned forward into the hill, digging in their heels. I think everybody pushed harder than they thought they could. Everybody was very out of breath by the time they got to the top.
Oh my gosh, I don't think we even got a full spoon of what they had to go through. I know the girls were talking about the pioneer women and how you know, they were sleeping on frozen ground. They didn't have tents when it was windy or anything like that.
The final push was really hard. It's about, well, some people started falling and spraining themselves, so obviously we had less people pulling, and this was by far the hardest one. It was straight uphill, probably, I don't know, a half mile.
As we were walking, Sister Ekstrom, she looked very tired, so I was like, Sister Ekstrom, let me replace you, because that's what we say. We say, switch out with me. And then she said, no, I got it. And she was like, I'm gonna make room for you. And she gave me the space in the middle. And then the whole time she was just pushing it. I said, are you okay? She said, I'm okay. I'm here for the same reason you are. She was just chanting her favorite scriptures the whole time. And it really touched me.
I think the very end was a huge testimony builder. Because of all the devotionals throughout the week, I think they come indirectly to us in our spirit and grow our testimony, but it's not until we take an action that it plants itself into our testimony. Without the boys, I have no idea how we would have done it.
Families were mixed up and everybody worked together to get us up these last hills, probably the longest hills of the trek, steepest hills, and I was the most tired I've been, and coming around the last corner and knowing that we were making it into Zion and everybody cheering was really powerful because it gave us that extra energy we needed to make it up the last couple hills and switchbacks. And then to get up here and see Brother Brigham standing and telling us that we had made it.
This is the place!
We were so tired. But I'm so proud of everyone. My family did awesome, helping each other, staying positive through how hard everything was, how tired they were. And to know that we made it all together was really something amazing that I wasn't quite prepared for. I knew it would be good, but I didn't know it would be this good. I didn't know it would be this hard.
We have hiked a lot. We've cleaned up a lot. We've had to break down camp and put camp away. We've crossed a lot of roads that were very difficult, but because of our family unity and the willingness and the wonderful attitude of our children, this has been absolutely, I couldn't have asked for an easier experience. It has just been everything we hoped for and then more.
The trek has been amazing. It's one of the best experiences I've ever had. It really has strengthened my testimony, and I really believe that it's the best decision I could have made for this spring break.
Now, this trek was the best, to be honest. Like, It was just amazing. I had so much fun, like I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
Spiritual aspect of this was overwhelming. It was so powerful. I've never been this close to the Spirit before, and I really strengthened my testimony through the Spirit, especially when Joseph Smith came. Yeah, it was mind-blowing, the Spirit was.
And when we got to the top, Brigham Young was waiting for us. And what an amazing feeling to realize we had worked so hard and we accomplished something that most people wouldn't even imagine accomplishing. And he told us that this is the place that we were going to settle. That was our Zion. And what an amazing feeling that was to hear him say that. Everyone was so happy just to make it to the top, and it made us realize how important it is for us to have the gospel in our lives and for us to find our Zion. And then we came back and had a ton of food, like seconds and seconds on chips and hamburgers and everything. And then we had a really great testimony meeting, and it was so neat to hear all the kids and how this all changed them. And each person was different and unique, and they all got something completely different out of the trek. But it was just truly all worth it in the end.
I think that these kids now have a greater appreciation for their lives and for what they have and the comforts that they enjoy. Even realizing that even on this trek, we have it better than the pioneers did with the porta potties, and we have wash stations, and you know, they give us our food every night. And even in doing this, we don't have it as hard as they did, and all the sacrifice that they made for us, the hardships that they endured. And you know, Brother Hilt just said to us at the top of the hill, you know, he said, we know that there's an end in sight. We know that somewhere down this road there's an end, and that we'll be able to go to our homes and sleep in our beds tonight. And the pioneers didn't know when it was going to end. They didn't know if the next hill was the end, and most of the time it wasn't, or which corner they would turn and be able to set their stuff down and rest. And so I'm very thankful and appreciative for the opportunity to come on the trek and to feel the Spirit and to gain my own new appreciation for what my ancestors did.
To go on this trek, you needed to have a testimony to begin with, because it is really hard to think that you're going to be pulling carts for a couple days straight. And as you're pulling them, you start thinking of things because it gets quiet sometimes. And then those moments you realize what the people before us had to go through because of their faith, and how much they really believed in the stuff that they went through, like death and pain and everything, because they all knew this church is true. And it's amazing to think of that. And so this trek has really pulled me closer, and I loved it.